When we think about island vacations, you'd usually relate it to the tropical paradise filled with lush landscape and clear blue skies. However, some islands are the exact opposite of what we just described, and yet they're still considered vacation spots. In today's video, we'll be sharing with you a list of some of the worst island vacation spots ranked, but fair warning though, some of these are gross. So if you're curious to know where these places are, then you better keep on watching. Santorini, Greece. If we have to name one thing that destroys an island's overall aesthetic, it would have to be the influx of tourists. Sure, you're doing a great job of keeping cash flow afloat in the place, but one thing we're sure of that has destroyed many island paradises is because they couldn't handle the number of visitors, which also contributes to the litter and pollution in that place. One of the best examples of this problem is Santorini, Greece. We've seen more than a dozen video clips and photos of white houses with electric blue roofs overlooking the ocean. But on the other side of the camera is a long line of tourists who are standing, waiting for hours just to get that Instagrammable photo of the same place. Travel Lemmings, a helpful tourist guide, even described the place as one of the most overpriced, overcrowded, and overrated travel destinations on the planet. Over the years, Santorini has deteriorated, and although there are nearby beaches in the area, they're mediocre at best, and unless you have a keen interest in history, then you might find the archaeological sites and ruins pretty boring. Rather than fund the betterment of the place, the local government unit chose to maximize profit and reel in more tourists, which is why the famed tourist area has suffered a steady decline over the years. So if you're planning to go to Santorini, we suggest you find someplace else. It's not worth standing under the heat of the scorching sun for that view alone. Bermuda. Another famous tourist spot among travelers is Bermuda. Who could resist the allure of Bermuda? Aside from the mystery surrounding the place that adds up to its appeal, many more find the crystal clear waters enticing. Sadly, the place is still under lockdown, and not to mention, you're going to have to put in more effort to reach it compared to some other islands in the Caribbean. And by the way, be mindful of the jellyfish, since this marine creature is pretty rampant in those waters. Another downside about Bermuda, aside from being expensive, is that you can't rent cars. So if you're someone who likes to go sightseeing at your own pace, then this may be a struggle for you. Ilha de Queimada Grande, Brazil. Next on the list isn't really a popular vacation spot, nor is it open for tourists, but we felt the need to share with you anyway since it's downright gross. Located on an island off the coast of Brazil in the Atlantic Ocean is the Ilha da Queimada Grande, or commonly known as Snake Island. So for our ophidiophobic friends watching today's video, you might want to steer clear of this place. Comprising only 43 hectares, this island has more venomous snakes per square meter than any other place on Earth. And you know what's even scarier? The fact that several poachers take trips to the area to smuggle these exotic animals, despite the prohibition of the Brazilian government. North Sentinel Island, India. We've all watched The Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Remember that one particular film where Captain Jack Sparrow got abducted by the island natives and was supposed to be cooked alive? There is a certain island in the world that also has hostile natives in their area, and they're located in North Sentinel Island in India. The Sentinelese people have been residing on this island under the protection of the Indian government, and since colonial times, many have tried to enter and educate them, yet they managed to drive these foreigners away from their homes. Unlike the island natives in the POTC movie, the Sentinelese people do not practice cannibalism. Entering the island is strictly prohibited by the government, but in 2018, National Geographic published an article briefly detailed anthropologist Madhumala Chattopadhyay's contact with the Sentinelese. Don't go away just yet. We have another island where real human bones have been washed ashore, as well as several overrated vacation spots which you should reconsider visiting, so keep on watching to know more. Deadman's Island, England. Since we've already listed two unappealing islands in this list, then we might as well add a third one for the charm, no? Another pretty creepy and somewhat gross island that's been a topic of curiousness by many is Deadman's Island in England. Comprising only 3.8 hectares, this island is located to the south of Stanley Park in Cole Harbour in Vancouver, British Columbia. That's absolutely off limits to the public. Owned by Natural England, they lease it to only 2 people. Back in 2016, Deadman's Island hit headline news after several reports stated that over 200 human remains were found on the island. These remains were believed to belong to various men and boys who died of diseases on board floating prisons that were moored in the island approximately 200 years ago. A select team from Island Out was allowed to visit the island the following year to confirm these reports. Other than an unofficial graveyard, Deadman's Island is also considered an important bird breeding and nesting site. Because of climate change, the rising sea level and coastal erosion have begun to wash away many of the body's resting places, so it's a pretty common sight to behold wooden coffins and skeletons across the island, which are visible during the low tide. Naples, Italy. When people think about Italy, they'd think about wine, pasta, and of course, pizza over scenic views. But did you know that Naples is considered one of the dirtiest cities in the world? Italy offers a lot of exciting places to visit, but most people opt to skip Naples, as you should too. Unknown to some, Naples has been a dumping ground for toxic waste for more than a decade. The city's trash problem is an ongoing problem that they've tried to address numerous times, but since the mafia are powerful figures in the area, they've not much choice but to oblige. According to a report published by Wall Street Journal, the local mafia in Italy's Campania region and Camorra has been dislodging their nuclear and industrial waste in the area as well as the surrounding city since the early 1990s. And since we mentioned the presence of the mafia, the city is notoriously known because of them, as well as of the street violence and danger wherein theft and robbery are pretty common. Hawaii, USA. Hawaii is among the perfect picture of island paradise, but on the downside, it also has one of the dirtiest beaches in existence, and it's none other than Camilo Beach on the Big Island. It's true, though, that many of the beaches in this state are well maintained, but in the case of Camilo Beach, it's otherwise known as Trash Beach and Plastic Beach because of the extensive heaps of trash along the shore. Another indicator that human wastes aren't being handled properly, the ocean currents drag the garbage from the sea, in particular the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, to the shores of Camilo, which made it what it is today. Bali, Indonesia. Another island paradise that's popular among foreign nationals is the sunny shores of Bali, Indonesia, and to be specific, Kuta Beach. Operational since the early 1970s, Kuta Beach is known back then for its peaceful landscape with soft and gentle waves that are ideal for surfing. But in recent years, this too also suffered the overcrowding of tourists that left Kuta Beach dirty. As if that wasn't enough, the plastic debris from Bali, as well as from other neighboring Indonesian islands, also washed up to its shores, which tainted Kuta Beach's pristine image. Despite this, many nationals continue to visit the beach and learn how to surf, casting aside the beach's current condition. Maya Bay, Thailand. As the land of the free, Thailand as a whole country has been a popular tourist spot for people across the globe. From its water festival, lively night scene, enticing street foods, and hospitable people, what's not to love in this country? It's also home to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, where island hopping is also a popular tourist activity. One of its famous beaches, Maya Bay, was considered a treasured place and a haven for all beachgoers. But like everything else in today's list, Maya Bay was also overcrowded and was polluted heavily by the tourists. Phu Quoc Island, Vietnam. Finally, last but not least, we have another Southeast Asian country included in this list, and it's from Vietnam, in particular, Phu Quoc Beach. Aside from the trash heaps flowing along the current, several hotels on the island were also reported to discharge waste directly to the sea, which lessened and destroyed the appeal of the place. Several locals have already aired their concerns and reported these establishments, but this problem has been going on to this day. And that pretty much sums up today's episode about the worst island vacation spots in the world. Have you visited any of the places listed today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe before you go, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.